Okay, in this video I'm going to show you several different manipulatives that you could use if you were looking at the concepts of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, one manipulative that I'm going to show you is called Cuisenaire rods. Okay, and if you'll notice, the rods are all different sizes. Now, people typically think of using Cuisenaire rods to deal with fractions. However, if you take a look at this, for example, you could show this is 3 times something equals this piece. Okay, so you could show, looking at, if you wanted to do these 3 pieces and each of these is represented by 3, okay, so we would have 3, 3, and 3, even though I didn't put the other pieces down. So that would be one way to show 3 times 3, which would be 9. Okay, I could take a look at a similar model and notice that it's exactly the same concept. This whole idea that this one bright green piece is equivalent to 3 of the tan pieces, or the dark green piece is equivalent to 3 of the red pieces. So you could show repeated addition, especially if you were talking about 3s. Okay, you might want to look at, what have we got? 2s. Okay, so you could show 2s, repeated addition. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2. And that would give you a way to look at multiplication. Okay, we could also look at color tiles. Now, these tiles are made, when you start teaching, you learn to do a lot of things with different kinds of materials, and these are just a foam back. Okay, and color tiles you could show 3 times 2 by showing a row of 3 and having 2 rows of 3, which would be 3 times 2. 3 times 4 would be 3, and then I show 4 rows of it, and then I could just count up by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, or depending on the level of sophistication of math for the student, could actually count the number of those tiles. But anyway I go about it, I end up with 12. But these are color tiles. Now, I have some green, I have some beige, I have this pink color, and I have some yellow. Now, if you have access to a paper cutter, you can use that very effectively to cut up color tiles. Now, the other thing that you can do is the first year that you teach, you can let your students develop their own color tiles. Okay? Now, another manipulative that can be used is unifix cubes, or any kind of cube. Doesn't have to be a linking cube. Okay? So I'm going to pull out two different colors here. Doesn't really matter, but notice that these are linked. So if I'm talking about 4, or let's say 5 times 4, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes linked together. Here are 5 more. That's 2 sets of 5. Here's another set of 5 and another set of 5, which would be 5, 10, 15, 20, or again you could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So different ways to look. 4 times 5, so 4 rows of 5. Could turn them this way and do 4 columns of 5. Okay? Now, we might, so we've got different kinds of manipulatives here. Now, let's see, I've got one more piece over here and I've hid it. There it is. Okay? I have a smaller version. These are actually called algebra tiles, but what makes these really nice to use is you can introduce the use of the integers or with the color tile, if you want to think of it that way, which can have multiple uses. Now, obviously, if you were going to be doing integers, you would have positives and negatives, and you would designate one color as a positive and one as negative, and it doesn't really matter which one. But these are smaller color tiles, so what I'm going to do is zoom in here for you just a minute. Okay, so if I have 3 rows of 6, okay, I end up with something that looks relatively similar to this. Okay, now obviously the color tiles are a little less handy to use than these would be. So you could use the Unifix cubes and have, that's a row of 6. Here's another row of 6 or a column of 6. And here's another column of 6. Okay? So that's like saying 3 times 6, okay? Or 6 times 3. In other words, I have 6 pieces in one column or row, and I have 3 of them represented, which, you know, linking cubes are real easy to use. Now, these are Unifix cubes, as I said, but you can get all kinds of little pop cubes or snap cubes that are relatively expensive. Unifix cubes, I'm sorry, relatively inexpensive. Unifix cubes, however, are relatively expensive. Okay? So these are models that look at the same kind of thing. And these are just manipulatives that can help students or help you to build a better conceptual understanding of the mathematics that's involved in operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.